this 56-year-old construction worker from New Jersey, a former Republican, decides to ask Donald Trump the question we have been wanting mainstream media to hold Donald Trump to since 2020 and since he tried to overturn the 2020 election. And he's very disappointed with Donald Trump's response. I think it holds true. I saw a tweet that said the way Donald Trump beat the media is he became so evil and bad that speaking out against him sounds partisan now. And we have the media agreeing to wild things like no fact checks during interviews or no fact checks at all during debates, no matter what anyone says. Because Donald Trump's campaign is so bad, if you correct them on anything, you sound partisan because you need to aggressively correct them because they're making things up out of thin air. But yeah, this question is fantastic. I'm very happy this man had the courage to do this.
Okay. I am a Republican, no longer registered though. I want to give you the opportunity to try to win back my vote.
Hi, I need to put this here to avoid a copyright claim. Thank you.
Okay. Your, let me say, action and maybe inaction during your presidency and the last few years sort of, was a little disturbing to me. What happened during January 6th and the fact that, you waited so long to take action while your supporters were attacking the Capitol. Coronavirus, I thought the public was misled during coronavirus.
Hi, I need to put this here to avoid a copyright claim. Thank you.
And that many more lives could have been saved if we would have been informed better. And also people in your administration who don't support you. I'm curious how people so close to you and your administration no longer want to support you. So why would I want to support you? If you would answer these questions for me, I would really appreciate it. And
he looks so unhealthy, by the way. He looks like he's actively dying.
Give you the opportunity. There's, your own vice president doesn't want to support you now.
Thank you, Ramiro. So the people that don't support a very small portion. We have a tremendous, about 97% of the people in the administration support me. But because it's me, somebody doesn't support, they get a little publicity.
Hi, I need to put this here to avoid a copyright claim. Thank you.
Vice President, I disagree with him on what he did. I totally disagreed with him on what he did. Very importantly, you had hundreds of thousands of people come to Washington. They didn't come because of me. They came because of the election. They thought the election was a rigged election, and that's why they came. Some of those people went down to the Capitol. I said peacefully and patriotically, nothing done wrong at all, nothing done wrong.
Hi, I need to put this here to avoid a copyright claim. Thank you.
And action was taken, strong action. Ashley Babbitt was killed. Nobody was killed. There were no guns down there. We didn't have guns. The others had guns, but we didn't.
The others in this situation, by the way, the others against Donald Trump's rioters were the police. So Donald Trump saying the others had guns. We didn't have guns.
Have guns, and when I say we, these are people that walk down. This was a tiny percentage of the overall, which nobody sees and nobody shows. But that was a day of love from the standpoint of the millions. It's like hundreds of thousands. It could have been.
Look at that
the
head nod he
largest
just did.
group I've.
He's like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Which nobody sees and nobody shows. But that was a day of love from the standpoint of the millions. It's like hundreds of thousands. It could have been the largest group I've ever spoken before.
Millions? Hundreds of thousands? He is not well, dude. It's beyond lying at this point.
They asked me to speak. I went and I spoke. And I used the term peacefully and patriotically. If you look at the Democrats, what they say, you look at Maxine Waters and you look at Hillary Clinton. And
Donald Trump watched his supporters riot and break in the Capitol and storm the Capitol for hours before he decided to do anything about it. We know all of this information. Donald Trump should be criminally held for this. And the fact so many Americans don't think it's a big issue is really scary. But this is why it's important to have a Liz Cheney, to have different Republicans come out with Kamala, because they provide an easy off-ramp for voters like this to reason voting for Kamala, even if they disagree on many of her policies, which will usually be social issues that they disagree on. But that ramp off of Trump is very necessary. And voters like this are still very concerned about what Donald Trump did on that day. And any person should. Anyone, even if it wasn't to overturn the presidential election. The idea that Donald Trump lied, said the election was stolen from him, and then did a fake electors scheme behind the scenes to try and legally overturn the election. He had his supporters chanting "Hang Mike Pence," and now he's saying that 97%, he made that number up, he makes every number up, he's saying that 97% of his administration still supports him. Really? Your own vice president will not come out with you, will not endorse you. Most of your own party will not endorse you. I wouldn't be surprised if Ronald Reagan came back out of his grave to endorse Kamala Harris to make sure you do not become president because you are so anti-American and anti-American values and anti-democracy. And he's still praising, by the way, this election he lied about. Every accusation they make is a confession. He's praising China, Russia, Hungary, other dictatorships, North Korea, saying they are not the real enemies. The real enemies are within America. The real enemies are the Democrats and liberals and anyone against him. And you saw him speak about the Capitol Police officers. He called them other. Capitol Police officers did die from January 6th. Maybe not on that day, but many of them got brutally beaten. I think some may have harmed themselves or commit suicide. But officers did fall that day. And he still talks about Ashley Babbitt storming officers in the Capitol, saying that the police are the other who had the guns. His amazing, loving patriots did not have guns, and they were doing peaceful protesting as they violently stormed the Capitol and tried tear gassing lawmakers, and had a noose and had a bunch of zip ties and everything else. We're lucky they didn't come with full, guns and ammunition ready. We're really lucky that never happened. And that might happen. That's a possibility still. Like, imagine January 6th if they all brought guns and they had an actual organized militia. And I'm sure there are people planning this right now, and they are considering doing this. And federal agents and the military, when Donald Trump loses, is going to have to stop these people. And the fact that we even need to have this conversation with Donald Trump in the race, that if Donald Trump loses or wins, we are guaranteed for violence to happen by militias, which are emboldened by either the president or the person who lost this election, is terrible. The fact that the polls are so close, when we know if Donald Trump loses, there will be violent riots all across America just because he's going to lie about it. We know that FEMA workers were held at gunpoint from militias because Donald Trump lied about FEMA for 2 weeks straight and is still lying about FEMA. He's still lying about the cats and dogs being eaten by Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio. He still calls those immigrants illegal immigrants, even though they are not illegal immigrants, because he will say and do anything. And that's a big concern for many voters. And I hope we have enough time before this election for people to see this. He has canceled interviews with every major media network, with like CBS. He had a couple town halls he canceled. He pulled out of debating Kamala again because he's scared he's going to get embarrassed. And he also just pulled out of speaking at an NRA conference, at an NRA town hall, of all places. He's pulling out of there. They're doing Operation Hide Trump now. And the only path they have to the White House, unless if the American public is being so propagandized by X and whatever other social media companies and other forms of propaganda and dark money super PACs like Elon Musk is doing. If this election is close, then it's going to be really scary. And it really should not be. He looks very unhealthy. He looks unwell. And his policies are terrible too. If he has any. His only policy is tariff. He's going to do 2,000% tariffs. That's a policy. Another policy is he's going to make things cheaper. That's the whole policy. He's going to reduce energy costs. That's the whole policy. No explanation. You tell him that every economist in the world, even the conservative ones, disagree with his economic plan. He says, no, they don't. Bro, he has nothing to stand on. There is zero reason to vote for Donald Trump other than if you believe in some type of huge propagandic force. And yeah, it's a big worry. But kudos to this construction worker from New Jersey holding Trump accountable. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, channel memberships are open. They start at $3. You get a special badge in the comments, highlighted comments, and also I will respond to everything, special emotes, special private chats to get more insight into my personal organizing life, maybe possible races I can run for, so you can support that as well with only $3 a month or higher tiers. That'd be awesome. But yeah, it takes a couple hours a day to make these videos. It'd be great to have your support.